Hello everybody, it's JB here. Just doing a little review. We're going to do a 10-minute review of last night's match. Unfortunately, the first couple of minutes is going to be dominated by the disgraceful scenes from the Hungarian fans last night when the England players took a knee in the fight against racism. And we all want to kick out racism in football. I don't think there's any question about that. I think they should be ashamed of themselves, the Hungary fans, and then they go and clash with police. So what? They take the knee. They've got a right in football. Everyone's got a right to an opinion, and the footballers, I think the England footballers were well within their rights to take the knee. They don't condone racism. Neither do I. Neither do my colleagues on the commentary hub, or anyone else in football for that matter. It's not right, and these so-called supporters from Hungary, they didn't show the game, they didn't show English football, they didn't show the England players or their own country any respect last night. Disgraceful, really. And then they start fighting with police, the thugs. And I think UEFA and FIFA have got to get together and actually chuck them out of the World Cup, because getting them to play games behind closed doors. We saw the scenes last month when England went to play in Budapest, and it was dreadful to see. It was absolutely dreadful. They were like animals. And then you see that like Wembley, there's about 1,000 of them there, but it's enough to cause mayhem, and it's ridiculous. Why would you boo footballers taking the knee? I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. The players take the knee for a reason. They want racism kicked out, and I think that's more than a fair comment. I think bravo to the footballers, bravo to them, and I think I just thought it stunk really from the Hungarian fans, and they should be ashamed of themselves for what happened there last night. I had to get that bit off the chest. But we don't condone racism on any platform. I don't condone racism on JB Sports. I don't condone racism on any of the channels that we have on the TC Hub, whether it's TC Hub 2, JDAT Football, or Storm FM, the other three YouTube channels that we use to stream the games on a regular basis, as well as my own. Or none of our commentary team condone racism. So. A message to those people that boo taking the knee: you're sad individuals, and you want to have a look in the mirror, quite frankly. We're in the 21st century. Move into it. Racism should not be tolerated in any walk of life, let alone football. And I don't condone that. I don't condone it at all. Racism, it's not good enough. It's not right. It's not fair. And racism in any walk of life in this day and age should never be allowed. Right, I've said my piece. I needed to get that bit off my chest. Now the England performance that I need to get off my chest. Southgate picked an attacking side last night, as you know. I did the commentary for the TC Hub, and I've got to say we were a bit disjointed last night. I mean, I didn't really realise it at the time when Grealish got substituted, but he was our best player and we took him off. Brought on Saka. To be fair, Saka tried his heart out second half, but just couldn't get through. And you've got to say, the Hungarian side, their coach Marco Rossi got it absolutely spot on. Tactically, he sort of like, how can I put it? It was like Burnley. It was like Burnley putting 11 men behind the ball sometimes. When we're defending a 1-0 lead or whatever it is, and trying to see the game out. We weren't great, to be fair. I mean, we missed Kelvin Phillips. I do think we're better when Phillips and Rice are a duo in the holding midfielder role. I think we are better in that department. What concerns me really is the form of Harry Kane at the moment. It's a bit, you know what upsets me about Gareth Southgate is he doesn't pick Nick Pope because of his form, but yet still picks Harry Kane because of his, regardless of his form for Tottenham. his form for Tottenham hasn't really been good enough. If I'm being brutally honest, I think yeah, he's the England captain. But sometimes you've got to be bold and brave, and even if he's captain, drop him if he's out of form. You've got to. He's got. I think the whole thing with Manchester City has affected his game, and you could see that last night. He was snatching the chances. He had one in the first half where Grealish and Shaw worked brilliantly down that left hand side, played a lovely 1-2. Ball came in, and Kane, in form, would have took that away. There's no doubt about it. Raheem Sterling tried to do too much. Phil Foden, apart from the free kick which led to the goal, which was brilliantly taken by Stones, that was the equalising goal. We'll touch on the Hungarian goal in a minute and why I don't think it's a penalty. Then he was poor as well for Phil Foden. Mason Mount a bit non-existent. Declan Rice is playing ball sideways. I thought Mings and Stones had a decent game at the back. I thought they didn't give too much away. Liked them as a centre-back pairing, to be fair. Walker was a bit isolated, trying to make his runs down the right. Shaw, I thought, out of the two wing-backs, had a great game. I gave John Stones the player of the match on TCR because he could have had a hat-trick conceivably, but he didn't. Well, also he defended very well with Tyrone Mings. Pickford did okay as well, but I've got to say the Hungarian manager got it absolutely spot on. Now the penalty, it's a debatable one, isn't it? Considering that Burnley didn't get one, like something similar to that, which was a bit more brutal from Tim Krul where he punched Matty Ridgewell. I've had my two penalties on that, but Luke Shaw, this one's different in the terms that Shaw has no choice but to kick the ball away, and I think the player ducks to try and win a penalty or to try and con the referee in an attempt to try and con the referee into giving Hungary a penalty, which he succeeded. Now obviously I don't think there was a touch on him at all. I think he's ducked his head and he knows if he ducks his head, Shaw might make contact even when booting the ball away and a penalty will get given. That's what he thinks, and sure enough it was. I didn't think it was a penalty. I think Shaw has every right to get that ball away. There was no other choice that Shaw had but to boot that ball away, considering where it was and Shaw's body position. Not for me. And a month for Sundays was that a penalty, and that will be a big talking point. That doesn't disguise the fact that England were poor last night. I just felt that the decision to give that penalty was very, very harsh indeed, and I thought the referee was poor actually on that decision. I think he was actually I thought he was diabolical throughout the first half actually. England should have had soon after, obviously they go one up. They go one up on green. Then we should have had a penalty when their lad trips up Harry Kane from behind. Referee doesn't give it. VAR don't give it. It's the consistency. This is why I keep banging on at referees, because they won't respect. Then just earn it. Because the performances by certain referees, whether they're English or Spanish or Italian or German or French or Saudi Arabian, whatever, it's shocking at the moment. And if they want respect, earn their respect. Make good decisions, and stop trying to referee with an iron rod, because it won't work. But I'm not disguising the England performance last night. It was shocking, really. I didn't expect us to drop 2 points. I expected us to win last night. It's Hungary. It's not fair in Puskás in 1953 when they taught us a footballing lesson. When we were defeated, I think it was 6-3 or something back in 1953. This is not Puskás and all that lot. This is a Hungary side that on paper shouldn't have lived with us last night, and unfortunately we just didn't perform, which You know, I mean, Southgate admitted it wasn't a good performance. At least he had the bottle to come out and say and be honest about it, and that's great. But it's what happens on the field that counts. I think there's too many players that have earned their place without earning it, and I think if you see what I mean, Kane hasn't earned his place. He's only got in there because he's captain. He didn't have a good game last night. He's not had a good season for Tottenham. I think all the talk of transfers away, he's not happy. There's, reports that he's not happy at Tottenham and things like that. It's going to affect him, and I think what Gareth should have done is chuck him out the firing line. I'd have thrown in Tammy Abraham at the start. I'll be honest with you. I think he missed a trick by not bringing Danny Ings into the squad. But it's easy for me or anyone else to judge Gareth Southgate. He's the England manager. He's paid to make those decisions. I think Pope was worthy of a place. How can Sam Johnson justify playing? How can he justify Sam Johnson playing against Andorra, for heaven's sake? He's a championship goalkeeper. You need your best players to be playing top flight football, not championship football, with all due respect to West Bromwich Albion. Not good enough. It's absolutely not good enough. But Gareth needs to get his head out the clouds, stop picking his favourites, pick players in form, or drop players that are out of form, and start fashioning a side. I thought Grealish was one of our better attacking players. The only reason he didn't get player of the match because he got substituted too early, which was a mistake. Saka tried his heart out, as I said, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't a great England performance. It was disjointed. It was poor. It was lethargic. We were going too sideways. We weren't playing between the lines. The whole thing just stunk to high heaven. The only consolation I take from it, it's a point. That we take a point from it. We should have had 3 last night, but we didn't do enough to get all 3. We should win our next 2 games. We should be on the plane to Qatar. But if there's one valuable lesson that the England lads have learnt last night, is never underestimate the opposition, especially somebody like Hungary. It's maybe a lesson for them to take into the final 2 qualifiers next month. That is for sure. So there we go. Right, thank you very much for watching. Just a couple of dates in your diary before we leave you this morning. Just to let you know that West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham will be our next live match on JB Sports via the commentary hub. I won't be commentating on that game, incidentally, but Ryan Francis, who you may have heard last night reporting on Scotland's famous last gasp winning the Faroes, he will be your commentator on that evening. Join him at around about 10 to 8 on Friday night for that one. I'll be back in the commentary box on Sunday as we have a look at Newcastle. Will they have Steve Bruce as manager? Will they not? They've got the takeover that's just gone through with Amanda Staveley. I'll probably have a few opinions on that during the commentary. I might even do a video on that tomorrow or something like that and get my opinion. I've had a few days to think about it. Will Steve Bruce make his 1000th game as manager, or will it be Graham Jones taking temporary charge? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But their match with Tottenham will be live on the commentary on JB Sports at 4:20 on Sunday. I'll be in the com box for that one. Russ will be hosting that one too. Okay, have a fantastic day. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.